drop the package for the to subscribe, how you can subscribe for the to continue with the program. So I expect every one of us to subscribe so that we can enjoy more. We can enjoy the class and become, by the end of the 10 weeks, you can become a certified data analyst that you can boast of yourself anywhere, anytime, that you are now a certified data analyst. I can tell you that there are some people that all they are working with is Excel. All they work with, all they use is Excel, and they are making money just with Excel. For even knowing Excel, only Excel is something. For you, knowing Excel is something. So having the knowledge of Excel alone, some people are making money with it. So now having additional tools is another wonderful and fantastic something. So I wish that you continue this class, and we are going to have a very fantastic class. So I wish you all the best. So today we are going to be rounding up. Like I said, we are going to be working on pivot table. Pivot table. I'm going to be showing us some things about pivot table. Today's class may not be that too long, taking much of our time, so that I can give admin the chance of saying one thing or the other. So like we did on Thursday, that we spoke about chart and graph. So now by today, how many of us have been able to work with the data set I posted on the Telegram? So now, before I go into today's class deeply, is there any challenges so far from all our classes that we want us to tackle? I want you to pen that down. So by the time we are done with today's class, you'll be able to go over it, ask questions. We are going to rub minds together and solve so many problems. Anything that you want us to talk about. Okay, let's move to today's class. Let me share my screen. If you can see my screen, give me thumbs up. Give me thumbs up if you can see my screen. Give me thumbs up if you can see my screen. Are we in the class? Oh, I'm just talking to myself. Hello. Why is everywhere so cold? Okay, CD, thank you. If you are in the class and you can see my screen, give me thumbs up. Oh, thank you, blessing. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, you can see my screen. So let's start today's work. Like I said, we are going to be working on pivot table. And when you hear the word pivot table on Excel, what do we mean? Pivot table is a tool used to summarize your data. You use it to summarize your data. Maybe we want to generate more insight about your data. You use pivot table to summarize your data. It is a powerful tool to calculate, summarize, and analyze data that lets you see comparison, patterns, and trends in your data. So when you're using pivot table, it will help you to bring insights from your data sets. To help you to bring insight from your data set. Even while using pivot table, you can even get the solution. You can create your data story even around your pivot table, because already you have solution to your problems, to everything that you are looking for using your pivot table. So insert a pivot table, you place your cursor inside a cell within the range or table or the insert table. Select pivot table from the table group. Now, to create a pivot table, ensure your data has column headings. Yes, that is very important. All table headers. Each column must have headings, because it is the headings that we are going to be used. And there are no blank rows. Make sure there are no blank rows, because if there are blank rows, your pivot table is going to be showing blank. You don't want that. Note, selected field are added to their default areas. So if you make any correction on your table, by default, the moment you refresh your pivot table, it's going to update itself. That's one of the beautiful thing about it. So it's going to update itself. Non-numerical fields are added to rows, and date and time hierarchies are added to columns, and numerical fields are added to values. I'm going to show you all this when we are doing it. To move a field from one area to another, drag the field to the target area. So that's what we are going to be doing it. So let me show you exactly what I am talking about now. So the first thing we are going to do when you want to use a pivot table is to convert your data to a table. You convert your data set to a table. I believe we can still remember this data set. We have it already. How many of us have this data set? Type I on the chart if you have this data set. Just I on the chart if you have this data set I'm using. Nobody? Okay, Siddiq, thank you. At least I have one person. Nobody is with the data set again. Okay, let's move on now. That one does not. So what you are going to do is the first thing to do is turn this data set into a table. That's the first thing to do. You must turn it into a table. You turn it into a table. And what you are going to do is place your cursor on any part of the data set. Place your cursor on any part, just any part of this data set. You know, if you have cleaned this data set, if you have a clean version of it, if you have a clean version of it, you should not be having something like this that I am having here. If you have a clean version of this one, it's because I didn't save that one. That's why it is like this. So that's the first thing I'm going to do now. I'm going to clean it and have a cleaner version of this. How many of us can still remember the way we clean our? If you can remember, just raise up your hand and guide me through. How many of us still remember this? If you remember, just raise up your hand and guide me through. Nobody. Nobody. Our cleaning of data sets. Our cleaning. Nobody still remember. Okay, Siddiq, you want to put me through? Yeah, unmute yourself and guide me through. I've done clean and then trim. So what else should I do? Unmute yourself,
Substitute.
Siddiq. Thank you. Substitute. Yeah, substitute. So okay, I've done substitutes. What should I do again? What should I do again?
Substitute.
Oh, thank you. I should substitute. Now, what am I substituting?
You will remove.
What?
You remove the semicolon, then you put the space.
Okay, I will remove the semicolon. Should I put space?
No, 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 just empty.
Yes, just
Like
empty.
empty,
Thank you.
leave it blank.
Thank you. Just empty. Just empty. Thank you. I love that. I love that. I love that. So I have a clean. Thank you very much, CD. Thank you. So I have this one that is clean now. So now I can work with this. I can actually work with this now. So I can work with this now. The first thing is to convert this to a table, like I said. Put your cursor on anywhere, click anywhere in your in among the data. Don't click outside, among it, inside it, and press Ctrl T. Press Ctrl T. It's going to bring out the whole range of your data set. It's going to give it to you all the areas that your data set is occupying. Just click OK. Click OK, and then you have this. You have this, you have this, you have your table, you have your table. So you have your data now, like this. So you have your data sets, you have the employee ID, you have the department, you have the performance, you have the age, you have the new age, you have the new age. This is where you have your table. Now, this is how the first thing to do is to convert your data. You convert the data set into a table. And by converting it into a table, you have given it another understanding. It will help your data to be in a right order. It will help your data to be in the best order. And now you can work with it. You can use the table to create pivot table. You can use the table now to create your pivot table. So let's create our pivot table now. Go to where you have inserts. Go to where you have insert, and you are going to have things like this. I want to give our table a name first. I want to first of all give our table a name. We should give our table a name. Then after giving our table a name, then we can now first of all give our table a name. And that's what we are going to do. Okay. When you click on any area on your data set, on that data set, click on any area, then you are going to see where you have table design. There is a place where you have table design. Click on table design. On your or to the left corner side of that ribbon, to the left corner side, you will see where we have table name. Table name. Change the table one to any name that you like. I'm going to change my own to data. Click enter. Change the name to any name that you like. That table one, change it to the name, any name that you like. Like I said again, click on any part of your table. The moment you click on any part of your table, you are going to see table design. And when you click on table design, go to the left corner of your table. You have your table name, and there you have table one. Click on it, clear it, and put any name that you know that it's easy for you to remember and it's easy for you to write. So my own, I'm going to be using data, and you click enter. Now we have our table name. After having our table name, go to insert. Go to insert. When you have insert, we have to the corner left again, you have pivot table. Pivot table. You have your pivot table. Click on your pivot table, and it's asking you that you choose where you already have the name. If you don't have the name within the table range, put the name. Where you have table range, put the name. New working sheet, yes, new working sheet. We want a new working sheet, and click OK. And it's going to take you to a new working sheet. It's going to take you to a new working sheet. It's going to take you to a new working sheet. Now look at the right corner where you have your pivot table fields. Where you have your pivot table fields, you will see the headers of your table. You will see the headers. That's why I said your data must have header. It must have column names. Now, this is the column names for each of the columns in your table. We have the employee ID, we have the department, we have the performance, we have the age and the new age. So this is exactly what I am talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So now you have your, this is how you can use your pivot table. You can use your pivot table to create more insight, to generate more insight about your data set. And this is the first thing you can do. Now, instead of assuming we have this our data set that we have here, you will see that everything is just there. Okay, we have the employee ID, everything, and we have a lot of this, maybe tons of it. So we can't be checking it one after the other. This is one of the things that we can use. So I'm going to change the name of this sheet to analysis or insights. So I want to analyze now. I want to use this pivot table to analyze. I want to know how the employee, the department or performance, the department and their performance. If you click on it, by default, Excel will put it where it's supposed to be. Like we read earlier, anything that has to do with letters like this and number and words is going to put it on rows. Numbers is going to put it on columns, and values is going to, and maybe numerical value is going to put it on values. But you would notice one thing about this data set now. If you look at our data, they have the department all written for each people, but here it has bring them together. It's not writing them just like that. So we have accounts. Now you can streamline and say, okay, how many departments do we have? We have like 6 departments. Compared to when you have it here, that you don't even know the numbers of departments we have. So by using your pivot table, it has been able to analyze that in this our working space, we have just 6 departments. We have 6 departments. And if you want to look at the performance of each department, click on it. Now look at it. It sums up the values. It sums up the value to tell us, okay, looking at this now, you've been able to see that the accounting department is the one performing well. They are performing most, as in they are the one performing the best, followed by the supply chain. So you can use this to generate more insight about your data set. Now, looking at this now, you may not understand what is going on here. You may not understand how well each department are performing because they are just being given individually. But now you've been able to analyze how well each department are performing using your pivot table. So you can use it to analyze well, to bring more insight, bring out some insight from your data set. Now you can see which department is performing the lowest. Maintenance, you may want to analyze more. You may want to see why are they performing the least in the company, what is wrong with them. Even our marketing department, our IT department. So you may want to generate more insight, maybe look further what is going on with this department. Now, if you are done with this, for you to create another pivot table, just come to another cell, click on another cell. The moment you click on another cell, that old pivot table is gone. That old pivot table is gone. Now you want to do another one. When you click on another cell, go to insert, click on pivot table. Click on pivot table. Now it's asking us the table or range. That is the table name. I will write the name of my own is data, and I will click OK. Now I have another pivot table. I have another pivot table. Now, if you want to look at, okay, you want to see Employment ID, see, you don't want them in sum. This is what I want to explain to you now. By default, Excel has summed it up, but I don't want it in sum. You can drag it and drop it in row. Now look at it. That is exactly what I want to show you. In case when you click one of the headers and it's not giving you what you want, you can drag it and drop it where you want it to be. You can drag it and drop it where you want it to be. You can drag it where you want it to be. Now we want to see departments. Now we have the department. We want to see the age. We are no longer using the old age. We are using the new age. Now look at this. Look at this. Look at this. But I don't want this to be. I want this age to be in column. I want this age, this new age. You drag it and drop it in column if that is what you want. But if you don't want it like that, you can do it like this. You can drag it back. So now this is to show you that in accounting department, we have the workers of accounting department ranges between age 25 to 50. What a beautiful insight. So you'll be able to know, okay, we want to know why we have accounting department performing better than all other departments. Now you can see that we have people that are that are old enough with experience, and we have young age that their energy is still there. So we have ages between 25 to 50. And IT departments, you can see, and maintenance, you see that in maintenance department there are just 3, and their age range is not giving us a good answer. So you can use this to even generate more insight. Okay, if you want to use their age to now show their performance, you can click on their performance. Now see, imagine this. People that are 25, 28, they are the most effective. This is how to generate insight. This is how to generate beautiful insights from our data set. See, if you are enjoying the class, please give me thumbs up. Give me thumbs up if you are enjoying what you are seeing. Oh, thank you. So this is how to generate more insights in your data set. You can use this to generate more insight. And the more you dig in, the more you see. You understand me? The more you dig in, the more you see, you'll be able to understand that, okay, I can actually know what is going on now. Now, if you look at maintainers that are not performing very well, you discover that look at the age that is performing very well and look at the age that is not performing well. So you can use this to advise the organization that, oh, come, in our accounting department, it's like when we want to employ people, let's employ between the range of 25 to 30. You understand? Look at 39 and all those things. So you may want to use this to generate insights. To generate insights on your more insights to help you to create more insights. There are a lot of things you can do. So just come down again, create another one, just create another one. Like I said, the moment you click on a new cell, that pivot table is gone. Now let's look for another one. Insert pivot table. Put the name of your table. Mine is data. Click OK. Click OK. Now we have another one. So who can tell me what can we generate? What insights can we generate from this again? Who can tell me? If you know what insight we can generate, just unmute yourself and tell me something. What insight? What can we see again from these data sets? One is answering my question. I'm giving us like 5 minutes. Just look at it and tell me what can you check what do you want to bring out from this data set. It may be a very small data set, but I can tell you can bring out like nothing less than 5 insights from this data set. Verify like 5, and I've done just only maybe 2. So let's look at it. Okay, in the absence of none, now let's continue. Let's continue. Now we have our departments, we have our performance, we have our new age. Let's see our performance. Somebody is saying something. Now, I want to show you something fantastic again. Now, for example, you have this sum of value here, but you don't want it to be sum up. You don't want it to sum up. You don't want to sum up this value. Okay, let me do something. Okay, let me start from department. Okay, and I want to put performance. So now the performance has been able to sum it up, but I don't want it to sum it up. I don't want it to do the addition for me. Look at there is a small arrow here beside that sum of performance. Click that small arrow, and you may want to change it. Look at this value field setting. Click on value field setting, and it's going to show you some things. You want to count. Now I want to count. Now I want to do the counting. Now look at it. Look at it. Like I said, there are so many insights you may not know. Now this shows that over the time, accounting department, they've performed 12 tangible, wonderful tasks. For them to achieve that highest level of performance, they've performed 12 wonderful tasks that is helping them to keep on. Look at it. The number of tasks being performed by this organization is just 48. Who is this, please? Who is this? Who is this? Please, who is this? Just mute yourself the moment you enter. Please mute yourself. Mute yourself the moment you enter. Now, like I said, you can see now that, okay, look at it. Account department, they performed like 19 tasks, 12 tasks, sorry. No wonder they are leading. No wonder. This is another insight. You don't just want to count the total number of their the sum of their performance. Okay, in this sum of the performance, how were they able to achieve 665? Now they've performed 12 tasks. 12 different tasks to perform. You didn't see this in the data set. It is not written anywhere in this data set. So you will just be surprised. You'll be shocked. How can you don't even know these things exist in the data set. So these are the things that you can use your pivot table to do to analyze. Now sales 9, supply chain 9, marketing 7, maintenance 4. So these are some of the things you can do using your pivot table to bring out more insight. So now you've been able to see so they performed like 12 tasks. What happened to other departments? Why are they not doing up to why are they not meeting up to expectations? So you may want to ask questions. You may want to ask questions. You may want to do something wonderful, and you may want to see, okay, even with this, let me give you the sum of that performance again. Drag that performance and drop it. Now, looking at the sum of these past performance now, you will see that even those that perform 9 tasks like supply chain, they still make enough results. But look at sales that perform that same number of tasks, does not keep up to the result, although close, but not up to. This is another insight that you may want to see. These are different. So there are different insights that you can generate from it, that you can bring out from your data sets just by tearing it down. Just by tearing it down. So imagine if you are working with a very big data set. So these are the things that will help you to bring out insight from your data set. These are the things that will help you. And from this, you can create a chart. From this, you can create a chart. So that's what I will show you. Now, click on any part from the pivot table. Click on any part of the pivot table. Any part of the pivot table. Click on it. You will see where we have our pivot table analyze. Pivot table analyze. Click on pivot table analyze. Click on pivot table analyze. And to your right corner, we have pivot charts. Pivot charts. Click on pivot charts. Then look at the different type of charts we have in Excel. Look at the different type of charts. So these are now you can use any type of charts here. You can use any one here. You can use any one here. So I'm going to use a bar chart. So I will click OK, and it's going to bring my charts. It's going to bring my charts. Now it's showing me the charts. I can change this to and change it to ascending order. Click on any part of that sum, right click on it and sort by smallest to largest. Then you are going to have it like this, So you can use it to create your charts. You can use it to create your chart. That's one of the beautiful things that you see in Excel. You can do this too. Click on any part of the pivot table. Click on any part of the pivot table. Go to pivot table analyze, pivot charts. And here I'm going to be using a line chart because it's a bit large. So I'm going to click OK. See? You see? You see this? Can you see this? Can you see this? So you can use this to bring out insight. Now, looking at this now, you can use it to bring out insight. Here also, the same thing here. The same thing here. Pivot table design, pivot charts. And I'm going to use, okay, column. Let's use column. And here you have it. Here you have it. Oh, let me use, see? Here you have it. Like that. So those are the things you can do with your pivot table. Those are the things you can do with your pivot table. Are we still together? Are we still together? Let me know if we are still together. Oh, good. Any questions so far? Any question? Okay, blessing. We are together, right? Thank you. Any question? If you have question, please raise up you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Like I said, tonight's class, so I believe some of us have started subscribing for our advanced class so that you can, I believe some of us have started subscribing for our advanced class. I believe every one of us has started subscribing for our advanced class that will be starting very soon. And that one will be able to work detailed on Excel and then work on our Power BI because we have a lot of things to do on Excel. This is just a preamble, but I believe you will enjoy it when we start working on our Excel. So I want to bring in more in here. Now some people will be wondering, how do you know this thing will be like this? Okay. I want to now this is another thing I brought out now. Now for each of these people now we want to know the age that is doing the most task. And we see that 28, those are the person that is 28. It's just that this our data did not put name. Assuming there are names, we'll be able to see the name of those the staff behind all these great sources from each of the departments. Be able to see them and know the department, the name of the staff, you understand. Now, so this person that is 28 now performed 3 tasks, and this person that is 39 performed 2, where others performed just 1. And in IT, the same thing. You may want to use this to generate more insight, to see what is happening, and in maintenance that is 4, only somebody performed two, just like that, just like that. These are ways for you to know some staff that you need to promote. Imagine you see some staff that, oh, this person has been doing one, this person needs promotion. We need to promote so person. This person needs to be promoted. So these are ways you can use to, encourage your staff, see how well they've been working, and encourage them. See, this is another thing that you can use to give insights to your data set. So a lot of things that you may not see in this particular data set, looking at it like this, you don't expect all these things to come out of it. So you'll be wondering, oh, so you can still the things like this are actually in this data set. So that is it. And you can get the average of work. Imagine if we have dates, in this our data set now, we can get the average of how each staff is working in a day, the time they spent working, their average. So these are the things, and you can even see the average age for each department. That's another thing. So you have a lot of insights that you can generate from a data. Just that you just have to think deep. You just have to think deep. That's one thing about this our work. Just have to think deep. Just have to think deep. So, oh, it's not giving us the average. So it's not giving us the average, and I want to see the average before. See the average before. So it's just giving us the age, and you can even do it like this if you want it like this. But I prefer it like this. Prefer it like this. So you can drag and drop. That's one thing. You drag, you drop, you drag and drop. So I want to see their average performance. Yeah. See, this is their average performance. This is their average performance. This is the average performance for each of the departments. This is the average performance for each of the departments. So there are a lot of insights you can bring out from a data set. So I believe With this little, I've been able to convince and not to confuse you that data analyst is one beautiful tech package you need to add to your package. So now I would like us to ask questions from all our classes so far. If there is anything that you want us to go on, do something about. So the floor is yours now before we call it. And before I allow the admin to come in. So please tell me, ask questions. The floor is yours. Yusuf, Blessing, Siddiq, ask question. Miriam, yeah, Blessing, you have the floor.
Yes, ma. I was typing in the message section. I was like, how do you were like we should look at the data set and um check what insights you can get from it. How do we do that? Because I was like, how do we know what how would I put it? Or would I put it like variable? Like you said now, like an average age of the persons working, or the amount of input a person is putting to this data set, like those insights, how do we generate ideas to know how to find them? I don't know if you understand my question, ma, because it's still very new to me.
Yes, I understand your question. One
Yes.
thing is that the first thing is that know your data sets. When you are talking about a data set, the first thing is know the type of data set you are working with. If you are working with health data sets, you will know that as an health analyst, most what they are expecting is different from what a sales data set, maybe your manufacturing company is expecting. So the first thing is that you must first of all know your data set and know the expectation of the owner of that data set. What are their expectations? For example, if you are working with an health data set, the first thing is they want to know the comparison of a particular ailment when they came in and when they became okay or better. Maybe like how well the hospital is performing in that area. They may want to look at for how to reduce the number of patients in their hallway. How can they reduce that? So you may want to compare how the number of the how effective their reception of receiving calls, attending to customer via calls and physical. If the way they are doing it is not palatable, people may prefer physical to reaching them online. So the first thing is that you must know your data set. And that is one of the things I'm going to be taking us through when we start the real class. I'm going to take us through what we call problem solving. So when you have the problem solving mentality as a data analyst, that is your first skill. You must be able to solve problems. And when you are generating insights, ability to think in the way your directors or people that needed that data set is thinking, excuse me, is called problem solving. So if you are going to be starting the next class, I'm going to take us through problem solving skill. It may not be more than a day or two program, a day or two classes, but you will love it. And I'm going to give us material on it, on problem solving. So that is it. And like I said, you must be able to think. Yes, when you see your data set, you must be able to think alongside with the way the person that owns the data set is thinking. Like if you are working with a sales data set, what they are expecting is where they are making profits and where they are making shortage. You understand? You may want to help them to you want to give recommendations in that regard. Do you understand me, Blessing? Have I answered your
Yes.
question?
Yes, ma'am. And I wanted to ask, is it that when you want to analyze data for a particular company, like they give you a data set, I want to ask, is it that they would also tell the data analyst what they are trying to look for with the data set that will be given to them? Like, do they really ask, like, okay, we want to know what's going on with the company, like, okay, we want to know if I'm making sales? Like, would they outrightly say that before we now find more insights on this data set? I just want to know, because me, I was like thinking that every company will say what they want from the data before we start analyzing. That's
Oh no, at all. That's it. You may not have 100% uh, giving like that. It's not black and white like that. In fact, most organizations though is not even, they won't even tell you where to get the data set in the first place. They won't even give it to you. You are the one that will source for your data set. You are the one that will know how you will connect to the database and extract your data set yourself. You have been employed as a data analyst. That's all they want, is give us insight about our company and give us recommendations where necessary. Do you understand me? So they are not ready to tell you that, hey, if you have this data set to help us to do this. No, it is you as a data analyst that will generate your data set, and you will now report to the company that, oh, these areas we are not doing well. These and these areas we are doing well. Do you understand me now? So that is your work as a data analyst. Nobody is going to tell you that this is a particular thing you should do or not. So you are just being employed as a data analyst. You should know what you're supposed to do. So when you are coming in, you should know how to get your data sets and work with your data set and bring insight. So if you want to know, make your position or your department relevance in that organization, then you must be ready to bring out something that is meaningful, something that they will see, and we encourage them to listen to what you have to say at all times. Do you understand me?
yes, ma'am.
That is
Yes.
it. It's just like you being a marketer. You know, if you are a marketer in a company, they don't care how you are bringing the what have you now, the accounts or the sales. All they
Sales.
care about is that bring the sales. You understand me now? All they care about is bring the sales. They don't care about how, where. You understand? So that is exactly how it is. So if you are going into an organization, they believe that you are an expert in your field. So that is it.
All right, ma. Thank you, ma. Go to your post.
You're welcome. So any other question, please? I want this class to be interactive this night. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss. Siddiq, Yusuf, Miriam, are you guys all here? Esther, say something. So that means if you are telling me that there is no question, that means you are giving me 100% mark that I'm a very good teacher. Is that what you are telling me?
Yes, ma. Thank you very much, ma.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
you're actually a very good teacher. We enjoy
Oh,
everything, every bit of your
thank you.
lectures.
Thank you.
Actually, me, what I did not get, maybe it was because I joined the class lately, was the chat,
Oh,
the bar chat, everything. I don't want to take you back. That's why I don't want to ask question, actually.
oh,
I really don't
okay.
understand because when you were showing the chat, it's just showing, I mean, you are showing the chat in different formats. I don't know, maybe you're analyzing different data because what I'm seeing there is just wanting the performance. So I
Oh,
really don't understand why it's giving the
okay. Were you in
performance
the
that is
class
showing all the data.
when we moved to the pivot table?
Yes,
Have you
when
joined?
you were showing, you actually brought up the this thing, the chart to show the data, to show the performance. So it
Yeah.
is showing what I was seeing was it is showing the same thing. the bar chart, the other charts, the line charts, they are showing the same thing. I don't really understand, but then I think it was because I joined lately. So
Oh,
maybe
sorry,
I will get
sorry,
late.
because you joined late. Okay, yeah. So maybe if you have time to listen to the video again, you will understand what you have done so far.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You
Thank you.
understand me? Yeah.
Yes.
Be able to understand what you have done so far. So okay. Would we call it a good night from now? From now? Okay, admin, please, you can, if you have anything to chip in at this point. I believe Mr. Abdulaziz was on the call before. Maybe he has gone. Madam Awa.
Yeah, he was here earlier, but he has gone. Good evening, ma.
Okay, good evening. So anything from the admin?
Yeah, not really. We only want to talk about the accelerated program.
Okay.
The last class, I know you asked if they were interested, and all of them in class indicated interest. So this is just like a reminder, and also to tell them what they will